What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Keaton, or Cantina Comics, and today we're going to be ranking every single live-action Batman suit that we've gotten throughout the years. If you're new around here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're very quickly approaching 500 subscribers, and my goal is to hit that by the time that Spider-Man Brand New Day releases in theaters at the end of July. But with all that being said, there are over 25 suits on this list, so let's start off in our honorable mentions with the 1943 Batman serials. This was our first ever live-action Batman, and like I mentioned in previous videos, this was 1000% a product of its time. I mean, look at this suit. It looks like a Halloween costume that a mom would make for their kid, and it makes sense. I mean, this was the 1940s. There was nothing really to go off of, minus the comics itself. So they were pretty much just going for it and seeing what was gonna happen. It definitely looks dated for sure, but it isn't god-awful either, but it just doesn't compare to any other suits on this list. So that's why it's in honorable mentions. It would just be unfair to put it up against the BVS suit, the Pattinson suit, fucking Christian Bale, you name it. If both of them were on screen together in a movie that came out today, one would look like a parody and one would look real. So with that all being said, we're gonna move on to the next honorable mention, and this is the cowl we see in Gotham Knights. We don't see a suit at all. We see this cowl. It looks okay, I guess. And another one of those that we have is the cowl in Arrow Season 8, Episode 1. Again, this is just a cowl. I don't even know if this is really Batman's cowl or if something Oliver just made. But with these two, they're just cowls. It's not a full suit, so they can't be here regardless. But I figured because they still did appear, I would mention them. Next up, we have the concept art for Darren Aronofsky's Batman movie that was never made. Batman Year One was going to be coming out, and Joaquin Phoenix was going to play Batman. And we got multiple Batsuit designs for the film, but it's really hard to say which one of these would have actually made it into the film and which one Batman would be using. But we got 6 different Batsuits here in this concept art. I want to go ahead and show this to you all. These are really cool ideas. It would probably work as like a Gotham by Gaslight Batman, but I would never want to see this in live action, especially as a Year One Batman. It just does not work for me at all. But the concept art was made, and there's going to be more concept art suits showing up in this video. But with that being said, we're going to move on to our next one, and that being the Justice League Mortal suit that was supposed to be worn by Armie Hammer as Batman. Starting off, we have this group costume test photo. Now, it's really hard to tell how the Batsuit even looks in this. It kind of looks like Pattinson's, but Armie Hammer did come out in a tweet and say that this photo was actually fake. He had said, not quite, the Batsuit isn't right, and also Green Lantern was black. Common was going to nail that role. Which, if you haven't seen my ranking on the Green Lantern suits, go ahead and watch it up here. I went ahead and went over this suit as well as the other suit that he had in the film. We have a bunch of concept art as well as designs for the film, and the only real piece of this suit is the cowl, which we had seen a cast for, and it looks kind of similar to Alex Ross's Batman. We got some more concept art with these goggles with the yellow lines going down the face. It looks a little weird, as well as this next one where we have these goggles and this big tactical vest. I don't know what the hell they were going for with this. We got some more designs with the streaks coming down as well, and this really weird padding on the legs and torso of the suit itself. As well, we're gonna have some mechanical elements on the spine, kind of like Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2. Very interesting and kind of weird. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts on the suit. I don't really know how to feel about it. I'm very mixed. There's some elements where I think are kind of cool, and there's other ones where I don't know what the hell they were going for, and it makes 0 sense to me. But with that being said, let's move on to the main list. At the number 26 spot, we have the man suit from Gotham. I am including the man suits in here because they are prototype Batsuits, so we gotta talk about the one from Gotham. Like I had said, I cannot take this suit seriously. We have a leather jacket with leather gloves that have these weird lines on the fingers running up them, with some black pants and dress shoes. Along with that, we have this atrocious looking cowl. All I really have to say about this cowl is that they did the actor so fucking dirty making him wear this. The memes are never gonna end. They literally could have just had a ski mask or a balaclava and it would have looked so much better than this. I don't know what made them think that this is what they should go with. It just doesn't look the greatest. But with that being said, we're gonna move on to the next one, and that being the Batsuit that we see in Titans. This is another one of those suits where I don't know what the hell they were going for with this. This feels very piecemeal. It feels like it was never supposed to be actually on screen. It's really only used as a silhouette to begin with, and even then, it looks so weird in the show. But the behind the scenes photos expose how bad this suit really is. We don't even have a bat logo here. There's a weird cod piece that pulls down. The belt is halfway across his stomach. The armor padding is all over the place. On top of that, the cowl and neck piece sit just on top of everything. And in the episode, you can see it kind of flailing around, and it looks really weird. I will say the one thing that's kind of nice is the ears on the cowl, although I really hate the devilish ears that Batman used to have, especially in the early comics, where they were made to look more like devil horns. I hate when they're on suits, and it just looks really bad in this. When it comes to over-designed suits, this has to be one of them. There was so much going on here. We have shoulder pads, knee pads, we have motorcycle gloves. The armor paneling is sectioned up throughout the entire thing. We got these little belt clips on the breast as well as on the belt. It looks like he's wearing like an Under Armour shirt underneath. And Titans has some really interesting suits like the Robin suit. What the fuck happened with this? I'm so confused by it. Anytime I see it, I'm left scratching my head wondering like what the thought process was. And I'm honestly so glad that we never actually saw the full suit on screen itself. It was always silhouetted or darkened to where you couldn't see the details. And it's very obvious as to why. This suit is terrible. And that's why it's here at the spot.
Where's Batman? Fuck Batman.
Alrighty, next up, we have George Clooney's ice suit from Batman and Robin. A lot of people, for some reason, have this suit higher in their lists. I don't know why people glaze this. They look terrible. The one thing for me that I like is the fact that the suit is blue and not black, but that's it. If you want to talk about an over-designed suit, this should be the one that you talk about. Holy fucking hell. If there was one suit that was made solely to create toys, this was fucking it. For sure. I hate the silver elements all over the place on the suit. They don't even make sense to begin with. I guess in the deleted scene, they were supposed to help when Batman gets hit by Mr. Freeze, but they never showed in the movie. There's no reason for it really in the movie at all. And on top of that, this is a really bad suit in a really bad movie, and it only makes it worse. I actually feel like George Clooney was a pretty good Bruce Wayne, but when it came to Batman, it all went out the window. And with that being said, the next suit on this list as well is another George Clooney suit, and that's this main suit that he has in the movie. The only reason why it's higher on here is because it's not as over-designed as the ice suit. I mean, we have the bat nipples. Yeah, they're there. They're not good looking. I don't even know why they're there to begin with. At least with all of the colors on this suit, it kind of all just meshes together. And from a distance, it doesn't stand out all that much. But the muscle padding has gone to the extreme with this suit as well as the nipples. The belt is okay, I guess. And on the boots, we have these battering, almost looking decals, which I guess is a cool idea. Again, though, these two suits are just really bad, and I can't put them any higher than what they are. Next up, we have the Gotham finale suit. Yes, you heard that right. I think this suit is better than George Clooney's suits, and that's saying a lot. It isn't really all that better, but at least we don't have bat nipples here as well. This kind of actually looks like armor, not just a rubber suit, even though it is rubber. The cowl is okay, I guess, but everything with the suit besides that is really weird. Why is the breastplate as well as the abs not connected at all? Why is it split apart? Why is there another one of those Under Armour shirts underneath? It really doesn't make sense. How the cape attaches is kind of cool. I like how it kind of folds inward, but that's really about it. This suit was really odd, and we literally only saw it for 5 fucking seconds in the episode. I wish we would have got to see a little bit more of it. Maybe it would have looked better. Who knows, though? We do have a lot of behind-the-scenes photos, and I don't really think they do it a whole lot of justice either. It is still better than Clooney's suits, in my opinion, even though it has a lot of the same issues with it. In its execution, it's just done so much better. Alrighty, next up, we have Kevin Conroy's Batsuit from the Arrowverse. I really wish we would have got to see him physically in this suit. R.I.P. Kevin Conroy. I'm glad he got to play Batman finally in live action, but I wish he would have got to don the suit. For being the Arrowverse, this suit honestly isn't the worst thing ever. I kind of like it. It definitely needed some work, but I love the bracers that we have on the wrist here, as well as the belt on the suit. It's one of my favorites. It's very sleek in its design. It's simple, but it works and it's effective. Where it kind of loses me though is the breastplate with the Batman logo. The logo itself is fine, but the material they use from like here up just looks really weird. I don't know why. There's like a metallic sheen to it, and the rest of the suit does not have that same sheen. It feels like a really odd place to put it. Maybe they're trying to make the logo stand out more. I don't know. This Batsuit overall just looks very slim. It doesn't feel bulky. It doesn't feel menacing. So I think a muscle suit underneath this would really make it stand out, but it doesn't have that, and I kind of feel like it hinders the suit a little bit. Alrighty, next up, we have Val Kilmer's Panther suit from Batman Forever. Out of all the 90s suits, this is probably one of the best ones. Again, we have the bat nipples. This shouldn't be here to begin with. The muscle texturing is still a little bit too much. Overall, the texture of the suit, the color of it, as well as the belt, and even the cowl looks great. I really love the cape as well. Honestly, this might even be better than his Sonar suit. I do like that one a little bit more, but this one and that one are almost neck and neck. I love this one a lot. Val Kilmer was probably one of our best adaptations of Bruce Wayne. Batman, I don't know if I can say the same, but his Bruce Wayne was really convincing, and I really liked his take on the character. Alrighty, following that, we have the man suit from Batman Begins. This is pretty much just the bat suit without the cowl, without the cape, but we also have this harness that is attached to the belt and to his legs. As well, we have a ski mask. This feels like the closest thing to the DCAU prototype Batman suit that we had seen in Mask of the Phantasm. It's very similar to that, but this is literally just the Batman Begins suit with a couple added or removed things depending on how you look at it. Overall, it works. It's a prototype suit. It's exactly what it should be, and when it fully becomes the real suit, it looks so much better. Already following that, we have the blue and gray Batsuit that we had seen from Ben Affleck in The Flash. On paper, this should have been one of the best Batsuits that we'd ever gotten. We were finally getting the blue and yellow and gray, and it ended up looking like this. What went wrong with this suit? I have no clue. We had even seen Michael Keaton have a blue and gray Batsuit that looked so much better in this film, and in the behind the scenes, there was a version of this suit, and it was black, gold, and silver, and it looked so sick. It's probably what this suit was originally intended to be, but they ended up changing it and going with the blue and the yellow, and I do not know why. The black and gold variant of this looks so much better. It's later down on this list. I'm not going to talk about it all that much, but the blue and yellow, man, come on. The cowl, the way it fits into the cape looks really weird. The rubber texture on it feels really fake. Like, I feel like I could touch it and it would move like Play-Doh. It shouldn't feel that way, especially for a Batsuit. Ultimately, I just feel kind of robbed. After years of fans wanting the blue and yellow and gray, we finally got it and it looked like this. It's disappointing. I really wanted to like the suit. I've tried to make myself like it so much, especially when there is a better version of this suit in the black and gold. It feels like a kick to the balls. I don't know why. Maybe you feel like this as well. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm getting annoyed just thinking about it right now. So with that being said, let's move on to the next one on this list, and that being the Sonar suit from Batman Forever. I know I'd already previously mentioned this suit. I like it more than the Panther suit that Val Kilmer had worn. We also did get some alternate eyes, and it looked cool for like the split second it was there, but that was about it. This suit is probably a little bit more over-designed than the Panther suit, but I feel like it works. This suit is also more so gray than it is black, and it doesn't look all that bad. Paired with this suit, to me, is my favorite Robin suit that we've gotten so far. I really hope in the DCU we get a way better suit than this, but I like this Robin suit so much more than the one that's in Batman and Robin. The only thing with this that makes me scratch my head is the cod piece. What the fuck is this? Why are we outlining this dude's piece of deal? There is no need for this at all, especially in a kids movie. Why do we have to over-sexualize these characters, especially for kids? I will never understand. Moving on though, at the number 16 spot, we have Adam West's Batman suit from the 1960s. Yes, you heard me right. It's not amazing by any means, but it feels tangible, it feels real, it feels like something that Bruce would have made. The blue sheen and the reflectiveness of it works really great, and I hope it kind of gets brought back in some way, at least the reflectiveness of the blue. We have the blue, yellow, and gray. We have the trunks. I mean, what much more can you ask for besides it feeling more tactical and feeling bigger and more imposing, feeling like Batman? Overall, though, this is a really good suit, and I'm glad we got it. It even feels like the Pattinson suit took a little bit of inspiration from it, and I can see why. I mean, Ozzy can too, apparently. What are you doing? You coming to say hi? Hey, say hi. Say hi. You see the peoples?
Around here, it's kind of sculpted in like you would around a skull. And this nose piece, which is from the front, it's got that opening in the face. And obviously it's also inspired a little bit by that Adam West.
Alrighty, moving on, at the number 15 spot, we have the armored suit from the Justice League. And this is another one of those suits where I don't know what the hell they were going for. Ozzy apparently doesn't either. I mean, he literally looks like Night Owl from Watchmen. If they took the suit from that movie, also directed by Zack Snyder, and threw it into this movie, it would look very similar. I hate the goggles. I hate the extra beefed up padding. It just doesn't feel right. The silver, I feel like also is a little too much, and when the goggles aren't there, it feels really weird. When he has these little silver pieces on the sides of his head, it feels incomplete. It feels rushed, and I gotta say, I'm pretty sure it is. But that's besides the point. I really do not like this suit. I would have had it lower on this list, but realistically, if it was put up against other suits, it would still probably be better than them. I don't know, dude. This suit could have been so much better, and it just isn't, unfortunately. Following that, we're gonna have Ben Affleck's regular Justice League suit. If you didn't know, Jose Fernandez and Ironhead Studios had made the cowl for BVS, and it looked great in that film. But they were uncredited and did not return for Justice League, so Michael Wilkinson, the costume designer for both films, decided to make the cowl, and it just does not look the same. I hate the brows on here. It looks like Batman is like questioning everything, but not in an intimidating way, and it just looks off. Apparently, it was also extremely uncomfortable. In BVS, Ben Affleck could look left and right and have no issues whatsoever, and he cannot do that in Justice League. And it kind of looks like that too, because you can kind of see him doing the whole Batman lean, and and it definitely looks goofy. They took the BVS suit, changed it a little bit, and added all of these armor panels at random spots that pop out, and it just does not look good. The BVS suit was perfect, and they just fucked it up with this. I don't know why they had to go and change it. I mean, if they wanted to do anything, they could have just made the suit black and made the gold stand out more, and it probably would have looked better than what we had gotten. This is another one of those perfect examples of they have the perfect suit, and then they go ahead and try changing it up, try adding to it, and it ends up just looking worse. And sometimes a little less is actually more. Following that, we have Christian Bale's suit from The Dark Knight Rises. Now, this suit and the Dark Knight suit are very similar. I think they're literally the same suit. The only real difference here is the gloves, and that's about it. I mean, Christian Bale's Batman is one of the Batmans I grew up with. I liked it a lot, but over time, seeing better and cooler stories in suits in the comics, whenever I go back and rewatch it, I cannot help but feel like they could have done so many things differently. Still a pretty solid movie though. Especially too, the mouth on all of Christian Bale's suits just looks really weird. Why do we have only a goatee section here available compared to the rest of the face? It looks really weird. This suit, along with the Dark Knight suit, have the ability once again to turn the head full and have full rotation in it, and it worked great. But for me, the bat logo on the chest is just too small, and this suit feels really over-designed. If I think of the best Christian Bale suit, it's probably gonna be the suit from Batman Begins. It looks kind of rubbery, but it doesn't feel as over-designed as this. There are lines everywhere on this suit. I think this was the first version of the MCU-ified suits that was almost pre-MCU. Too much is going on here for me. Along with that, the next suit on this list is the Dark Knight suit. Once again, all the same complaints I just had with the previous suit or with this one. As well, the cape is a completely different color of black compared to the rest of the suit, and it feels really weird. It's a deep black that kind of has a velvety texture, which doesn't really look the best to me. Ozzy is making his return once again. What's going on, buddy? What's going on? What's going on, buddy? It looks like Ozzy's just gonna be joining us for this. I will say I do like the lines on the torso part of this version of the suit more than the Dark Knight Rises version of it. I don't know why. It does feel a little bit cleaner. And again, the only really big change here was the gloves. I do think this suit looks a little bit better though than the Rises suit. But with that being said, we're gonna move on to the next one. And that being the Nightmare suit from BVS. Call me crazy, but for a post-apocalyptic future, I feel like the trench coat works very well with this suit. Hell, these goggles even work 10 times better than the ones we had in Justice League. It also has that beautiful BVS cowl. For what it is, it looks great. At the number 10 spot, we have the behind-the-scenes black and gold suit from The Flash. I had talked about this a little bit earlier. In the behind-the-scenes, we saw this very briefly. There was a black and gold variant of the blue and yellow suit that we had seen with Ben Affleck, and it looks so much better. All of the little texturing details are gone here. We don't see the cowl, so I can't say it looks better, but everything else with it is. The gold really stands out on the belt. It's almost bronze. It stands out way more than it did with the original suit. As well, the silver bat logo across the chest looks great. All the little hexagon patterns are still there, but they're hardly noticeable. I wish we would have got to see the scene that this was in. It just looks so much better than the one we had gotten. Following that, at the number 9 spot, we have Keaton's suit from 1989's Batman, the original Tim Burton film. I love this suit a lot. It definitely is a little bit more dated than the other ones. Once again, this is another one of those rubber ones, but it doesn't look all that bad. We don't have the bat nipples here. The texturing on the cape, though, is a little weird. It feels like it has all these little cracks in it, and the shoulder part of the cowl with the logo sits a little bit higher than it, so it looks a little off because of that. But for our first real take on a live-action Batsuit in a Batman movie, this had hit it out of the park. And I cannot help but feel nostalgic for it. Now moving on to the number 8 spot, we have Ben Affleck's suit from his canceled solo film as Batman in the DCU. We had only gotten concept art of this suit, and I gotta say, it changes up his normal design entirely, and it looks pretty sick. One of the few gripes with this suit is the belt. We literally have a Wayne logo or W in the belt buckle itself. Kind of defeats the entire purpose of hiding the fact that you're Bruce Wayne. You could also say it looks like a bat. I don't see it at all. All I see is the Wayne W in the belt. To me, this suit looks like if you would have taken the suit from Arkham Knight and made it in real life, this is what you would get. And I love it. I love all the little details on that belt, minus the belt buckle. I love the muscle padding. I love the bat logo. And if you didn't know, Deathstroke was going to be the villain of this movie. It's going to be written, directed, and starring Ben Affleck. And later on, he ultimately ended up stepping down as a writer/director. And Warner Brothers brought in Matt Reeves, who entirely rewrote the movie and recasted Batman, giving us the Batman with Robert Pattinson. I gotta say, it is a shame. I wish we would have got to see this movie, although I would not trade Pattinson for this version at all. The Batman Part 1 was great, and I really hoped that Ben Affleck's movie would have lived up to it, but I just don't know if it would have, especially without Matt Reeves being there. Overall though, this Batsuit is pretty fucking cool. Alrighty, next up, at the number 7 spot, we have the Batman Begins suit. I love almost everything about this suit. Even in the behind the scenes, they call this suit the Panther, just like Val Kilmer's they had done.
It gives you this huge neck, you know, kind of like a panther. This real kind of feral look, you know, as you're gonna pounce on somebody all the time.
I love the gloves. I love the belt. Again, that cowl with the mouthpiece is a little odd. I can't get over the oval for his mouth. I think this is the best Nolan Batsuit that we had gotten throughout the trilogy. You can fight me about it in the comments down below. I just love this one so much more than the rest of the suits. With that being said, we're gonna move on to the number 6 spot, and that being the Batsuit from the Bateman State Farm commercial. All of the designs in this commercial were peak. Joker looks amazing. The actor playing him, I hope plays the Joker in the DCU. Look at this fucking dude. That's the Joker. This looks like the perfect mix of Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger put together, and I hope to God this dude can return in the future. I also really love Two-Face's design. For me though, I want Two-Face to have the blue on the side of his face. I grew up with BTAS in the DCAU. To me, that's Two-Face. And the red can work as long as it doesn't look like Tommy Lee Jones, and it doesn't in this. I think this Riddler suit was a giant step up from Jim Carrey's as well, although I kind of feel like the Riddler in Gotham had looked the best. Maybe that's just me, but Poison Ivy looked really good too. With that, we're gonna move on to the Batsuit. I love the cowl with this suit. It almost looks like the BVS cowl, just changed ever so slightly, and it works so well. I love the logo on the chest. If I had to pick for the DCU Bat logo, besides the Matt Fraction one, this would be the one that I'd want. I love it so much. I will say the bracers on the wrist are okay. We don't have the fins at all. I want to see the fins there. I love this chunky fucking belt. I don't know why. I love belts that feel practical and feel like you could actually store stuff in them, and this is one of those. In the behind the scenes photos of this and the rest of the suits, they all look great. The teams that worked on these should be brought back in to work on the DCU suits. They just look so good, and I feel like if they had the proper budget, they could be perfect. Alrighty, and now at the number 5 spot, we have Michael Keaton's Batsuit from Batman Returns. I think this is one of Michael Keaton's best looks as Batman. They took everything with the 89 suit and improved it in almost every way. I love the abs, I love the torso. All of the issues I had with the 89 suit were fixed, and this one just looks so much better. The only thing for me that is very weird is the fact that when he takes off the cowl, he has to rip it up, and you can see Batman without the eye makeup is very jarring. I kind of wish they had the makeup look like Pattinson's when he takes off the cowl. I feel like it could have worked. I also understand why they didn't. But the fact to take this cowl off, you have to take the entire chest piece along with the cape and lift it up over his head is a little ridiculous, and it kind of makes it look cheesy. Besides that scene though, this suit looks great. It feels armored, it feels practical, it feels like something that Batman would wear. It's just that scene at the end that makes it a little bit lower here on this list. And now at the number 4 spot, we have the mech suit from BVS. When I think of comic book suits that are recreated perfectly, I think of this one. This looks like it's ripped straight off of the pages of Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. I mean, so much so to the fact that they even included the little spikes on the bottom of the boots, and up until recording for this video, I didn't even think that these were included, but when I slowed it down and I zoomed in and I looked, you could actually see there for a little bit that the spikes are on the bottoms of these boots, which is insane. This feels real, it feels practical, and that's because it is. This was actually worn on set. Majority of the time when you see it though, it is replaced with the CG version of it, but when the practical suit is used, it looks great, and it doesn't feel like an Iron Man suit. And we finally got the white eyes of Batman. I know we saw it a little bit with the Sonar suit and in the Dark Knight. They don't even compare to this. I love these eyes so much. The fact that it's a light works great, and it took us forever to get there, but we finally got it. This suit is great, and it's gonna be at our number 4 spot. The comic accuracy with the suit is insane. Alrighty, next up, at the number 3 spot, we have Michael Keaton's Batsuit from The Flash. This is without a doubt his best live-action Batsuit. It takes everything that worked perfectly with the 89 suit and the Return suit, and updates it and implements it into this one. This is the perfect modern rendition of that suit. It still has the rubberness to it, but it improves every little detail about it. The abs look great, the bracers on the wrist with the fins are awesome, the texture that they used on the cape was great, and originally they had updated Keaton's cowl so that he can have full range of motion with his head, but he told the costume designers that he could not have that.
One of the folklores about Michael Keaton's original costumes were that they were really constrictive and hard to move in. And so we took it on ourselves to try and create a new rubber batsuit that would be much more flexible, much more comfortable, much more usable.
But when Michael put the cowl on, the first time we explained to him, I said, hopefully, Michael, we've put more movement into him. And he's go, no, it can't have that. There's no way we can have movement. He's, okay, we will make sure it's nice and for you.
As well on the suit, Batman has shoulder pads. Weirdly enough, it kind of works. The belt here too is great. I just wish the belt was yellow. If it was the same yellow shade that the crest has, it would be perfect and probably would be at my number 1 spot. I love this suit so much, and seeing Keaton back in the suit in action looked great, and Keaton did not nearly have as much sauce in the other films as he did in this one, and that's just thanks to modern technology and years of improving fight choreography. Moving on to the number 2 spot, we have Robert Pattinson's Batsuit from The Batman. I love this suit so much. I'm hoping we get some set photos soon of the new updated version of it. I love the take on this suit. It's real and it feels extremely practical, down to them using a police duty belt as the utility belt in this suit, as well as the holster for his grapple gun. On top of that, I love the leather cape, especially with the collar, and don't even get me started about the cowl. The fact that you can see a little bit of details that kind of make up a skull, even saying it out loud, sounds ridiculous, but in its execution, it works so well. My only thing is I would love to see a little bit of blue in this suit. I don't know if they would ever do it, but there are so many edits out there of it online, and it looks so sick, especially when it's done right. Like I said, I cannot wait to see some set photos of the new improved suit. I love this one so much. The fact that the bat logo comes out of the chest piece and is a prototype batarang that can be used as a knife is a really cool detail. When we saw the first footage of the suit along with Catwoman, it looked so good. I love how they did the abs and the torso too. It feels perfectly armored without being over the top. I feel like if they were to take the Arkham Knight Batsuit and make it in live action, it would feel too over-designed and too armored, and this does it without being over the top or ridiculous. I love how it was implemented. But with that being said, finally at the number 1 spot, we have the BVS Batfleck suit. I love this suit so much. Ben Affleck's look as Batman in terms of comic book accuracy, I think is really high up there. I love his suit so much, the way he looks, his presence. But with that all aside, everything else is out the window. Batman should not go around branding people or killing people, but yet he does in BVS. But the suit itself is so good. I love the scratch mark texturing in the bodysuit, and weirdly enough, the blue and yellow suit in the Dark Knight Returns comic by Frank Miller, if they used the colors from that and put it on the Batfleck suit from this movie, it could have worked so well, especially with how Batfleck's equipment has more of a wooden texture to it. I feel like that would stand out, especially against the blue and yellow, but besides that, the gray and black is great. I love the cowl once again. The cape is almost entirely CGI too for that warehouse fight, and you can't even tell. It looks great. I wish we got to spend some more time with this suit. I do not know why they went ahead and changed it in Justice League. They shouldn't have fucked with it. It was literally perfect, and that is why it's at the number 1 spot. Out of all the live action Batman suits we have gotten, I think this one is probably going to be my favorite. I know it's not going to be a lot of yours. Like a lot of you, I am eagerly waiting to see what the DCU Batsuit would look like. I would low-key just love to have Matt Fraction's Batman suit done in live action. It would be perfect. But with that being said, I'd love to hear your list in the comments down below. Go ahead and drop them. It's been Caden or Cantina Comics, and I will see you all in the next one.